dum dum dum. Aha! Good. I was going to say afternoon. It is clearly not afternoon. It is very clearly 10 to midday. 10 to noon. So it is definitely morning. And we are here on this lovely, glorious day in Eorzea. It's totally not a lovely day outside. It's been pissing it down with rain all morning. We are here to continue with our playthrough of the 3.0 Heavensward main story quest with a couple of extra bits and pieces. And the first bit and piece that we are going to do is to do the I Believe I Can Fly quest, because I would like to be able to have a flying kraken. And in order to do this, I need to kill some bee clouds with the kraken summoned. Ooh, that's a wild chocobo spawning straight in front of me. Ooh, that's interesting. I've never seen that before. Right, there we go. Oh, and the chocobo's joined as well. Never mind. Never mind. Oh, jeez. Okay. Let's put tank stance on. Just for now. Oh man, I'll get my ass handed to me. I'm actually going to pop a potion. See if blinding them helps. See, this is the kind of exciting start to streams that I like. No tension, no pressure. Please don't kill me. Ha! Whew. We survived. Thank God for that. I see you there, Featherflea. Right, there are a variety of extra bits and pieces that we can do in this particular zone, but we're mostly worried about main. So cute. We're worried about main story quest. So the training goes well. Excellent. In the chocobo forest, your bird experienced the thrill of battle and heard with its own ears the buzzing of those infernal bees. Many scholars posit that this sound plays an important role in awakening the dormant abilities of a flightless bird. Most chocobos that we explored are captured not long after they leave the nest. Likely your bird is hearing these sounds for the first time in its life. Now, for the next stage in the training. The chocobo must feel the same wind that its ancestors once knew, and yet this wind blows in a place that the average bird would be hard-pressed to reach. Fortunately, the chocobo has a keen sense of smell, and that is where you come in, friend. Travel to the highest points near Tailfeather and Falcon's Nest, let the wind embrace you, and let your bird take in the scent. Surely this will go far to awaken the memories of Kraken's high-flying forebears. It's quite a jaunt, this next bit. Are there any 198 yards to the north? Might as well grab that while we are here. Watch out for these bandersnatch. Ooh. You may notice the little symbol above the heads of enemies. I've actually been this morning and for my sins did the Aurum Vale again. And in doing so I completed the quest for the Maelstrom even. And in doing that I unlocked the hunt. And by unlocking the hunt, it meant that I would unlock the hunt also in Heavensward areas, because you need to do both. Oh, there it is. Let's get this. So yes, the hunts are a pretty good thing to do, as they do give you a chunk of XP. Not that we are lacking for XP. I'm assuming that the XP bonus that you get for the hunt... Where are we? Yeah, I assume that 34,560 XP will be doubled by our bonus. Let's see. 69,000. Yeah. Sweet. So that is doubled as well. And it will actually show you in the recommendations. Why do I have the Hall of Novice on here? Oh, I think it's because I haven't done the training stuff as a Dark Knight. But it will show you all of the things that we can do. I mostly have it set to Clan Hunt. I need to get up there. How do I get up there? I'm going to assume these handy dandy stairs. The crisp winds of the Dravanian forelands envelop you. What memories will they awaken within the Kraken? We also need to do the same in Falcon's Nest. It's worth getting this out of the way now. You'll notice that we are almost level 55 already. So this this road to 60 buff really does make a huge difference. Well, it's not surprising, it doubles everything. Just thought if because we can actually fly in this zone, we just can't fly on our normal chocobo. If I remember correctly, isn't it on the cliff over here? Yes. It's much easier to do if you've already unlocked flying in this particular zone. The brisk winds of Kurthus envelop you. What memories will they awaken within Kraken? And I think this should be it. This will allow us to fly on him in appropriate zones. We won't be able to do it in the Dranian Forelands for obvious reasons. I can smell the winds upon you, friend. I've no doubt that the same can be said of your faithful Kraken. With this, your bird's training is complete. The final stage of the training is yours. You need only learn to read the winds that you might lead your chocobo safely and surely upon them. To read the winds, you must be attuned to the currents of ether. Yes, read them well. Send your birds soaring high into the heavens. Be proud of Kraken, friend, for only the bravest and brightest of birds succeed in learning to fly. Glad you give you this as a reward to the both of you. Be well, and may we meet again in the skies above. And we get the flyer Shafran. Kraken has learned to fly. That gives us the Walking on Sunshine. Ooh, and a title. Huh? Oh. Need to use it first. And then he gets this funky little hat with flying goggles on, which I think is awesome. So we're going to use that for a little bit. Yes, obviously can't fly in the zone because we've got a load of main story quests to do, and side quests and stuff. Right, Moss Shomp. Right, this is a side quest, so we're not going to read that. But we are going to read this. Master Shomp would give you fair warning about what awaits to the west, something worse than dragons. I dare say you're wondering what could possibly be worse than dragons, eh? Well, I'll tell you, the bloody Nath. They're what you might get if you crossed an antling with a megala crab and taught the thing how to walk on two legs. They never used to stray far from the hives out of fear of the dragons, but they've got a lot more aggressive of late, sending out war parties for miles in all directions. They've even taken to harassing the Duranians in their own lairs, if you can believe it. And when they venture into the forest... Oh. Hello? That's weird. And when they venture into the forest, which is more and more by the way, they're certainly unafraid to come after my lot. I can only imagine how much worse it'd be closer to the Nath's home territory. I just need to go and check something. 1 second. Either the mute button on my mic is a bit iffy, or it's possible that some of that didn't actually register. It's weird. Anyway, when they venture into the forest, which is more and more by the way, they're certainly unafraid to come after my lot. Can only imagine how much worse it'd be closer to the Nath's home territory. It would seem that much has changed in Dravania. The Nath were not wont to cause such strife when I lived here. You lived here? In Dravania? Aye. 'Twas in the time following the calamity. My family was dead, my home was gone, and I had fled from the bitter cold into these lands. I knew not the paths of the forest then, and wandered out from under the protection of its bowers. That was when I chanced upon Heavensward. He had descended from his mountain lair to hunt for food. My exhausted mind could not contend with the sight of the majestic worm, nor the visions of the past his presence visited upon me. Thankfully, Mothsharp found my unconscious form at the edge of the trees and nursed me back to health, and in tail feather I remained for some time. Hence your familiarity with the locals. But I interrupted you. You were saying these Nath were once a peaceful people. Peaceful would not be the most fitting description. They are a fiercely territorial tribe, and any who intrude upon their domain are attacked without hesitation or quarter. Outside the borders of their homeland, however, they were rarely hostile. Indeed, we were even able to trade with them on occasion. They have changed, then. What of it? We have not the time to creep through the underbrush and some roundabout routes. I say we make straight for Somal and crush any unruly insect we meet underfoot. A more direct path, then. Very well. Let us first follow the trail west out of the forest and make for the statue of the Stained One. From there, we shall have a fair view of the road that leads to Somal. Shall we? I thought it said the west of the camp. Did I misread that? Follow the forest path. I do like this forest. It really does give you a real sense of a land that has almost been forgotten by time. I assume this is the remains, the ruins of the land at the Ellison and the Dragon's Boat. I'm sure I probably said this yesterday, but one of the interesting things about doing this is being land-bound. I can kind of see why Blizzard insisted on trying to cut out flying, even after they'd introduced it, as often as they could, so that you could experience the zones that they've created on foot, because it really does give you a better sense of scale. You know, when you're flying above this, and I have done a lot, you look down on everything and you feel a lot bigger. But when you are surrounded by these massive arches of rock and these trees, you really do get a sense that this is an epic place that you are walking through. Should be noted that these are level 52 quests, so we are a good chunk over leveled for them, which is good because as a tank, our DPS output is not huge, so it does give us that opportunity to do a little bit more damage. Got some cool treant mobs that have lost their leaves and are thus much easier to actually fight. We've got some old goats or Loftons, who knows. There's a fate here at this statue. This is the stained one. You haven't seen any Avis mobs since what's its place? Stone Vigil. So, Jess, there's a big statue there. Actually, you can actually climb up this and take a look around if you want to. I thought there was a sightseeing log up there actually, but clearly I am mistaken. Okay. Should we chance to meet Master Champ again, remind me to thank him. Had he not warned us to expect the Nath, I doubt I would be standing here. Amid ruins that I would tentatively describe as Ishgardian? The style, if not quite identical, betrays a definite resemblance. You have a scholar's eye, Master Alphino. The structure is in fact over 1,000 years old. It is a remnant of the age when our ancestors and dragonkind lived together in peace. Huh. You claim this as evidence of our harmonious past. I was taught that these buildings were constructed by heretics in honour of your Dravanian masters. This rubble inspires no such awe in me. The reason why Estinian is on this, from a story perspective, is because he's the Azure Dragoon and, you know, they're going to go and talk to dragons. But there's another reason as well, in the sense that he, as an Ishgardian, he has the benefits of all of the weight of that history and the teachings and the prejudice and the secrets and all of the kind of stuff that Izel is saying, look, it's bollocks. This is why they're at war, not what you've been taught. And one of the things I like about this story is that both Estinian and Izel are at each other's throats constantly, because they've got two completely different ideologies. Their versions of history, of the truth, are disparate. And that leads to some really good drama. You know, they're both in many ways heroic figures, both Azel and Estinian. They're both doing something for what they believe to be the greater good, but they are coming at it from completely opposite sides. Stubborn fool, see? How desperately you cling to the false teachings of your beloved Holy See. Enough, both of you. You threaten the success of our mission with this incessant squabbling. Oh, Alphino. Demajen, pray reason with these two. Grunt. Our goals are the same. Set aside your differences for now. The truth of the past will be revealed. Our goals are the same. Quite. Lest you forget, our goal is to prevent a war which will claim the lives of Dravanians and Ishgardians alike. If we are to accomplish this, you must learn to tolerate each other's presence. And they do, over time. But there's a lot of story to go. Trust in Demajen's gift. In time, the secrets of history will be brought to light. Let that be enough. You would have me keep my counsel until Demajen's visions confirm the truth? Very well, but maybe not. Our meeting with Ffxiv will likely provide the catalyst Demajen's gift requires, as it did mine. Let us press on. Izel wishes to survey the approach to the distant towers. Spy you the 3 great towers to the west. That's those over there. Ishgardians know them as Annex Trine. This place serves as a roost for Ffxiv lesser kindred. If we are to reach the peak of Som Al, then we must first beseech these dragons to open the way. But do not be disheartened. The one who leads them is a friend. Or rather more concerned, the disposition of the Nath. Saw that coming. You guys just going to stand there? Of course you are. Die! Right, we got to something about the Nath. Let us survey the approach to the towers and see if the path is clear. We can follow the path around if we want, or we can take a shortcut. Over in the distance there, that is one of the Nath's strongholds. It's the main one that we need to concern ourselves with at the moment. We've got this really nice river. Some linky nankers. Ooh. While we're here, let's go grab that ether current. No. Yes. Oh. Well, that was us levelling up from discovering a new area. I haven't got any level 55 gear or anything like that. Ooh. It's gone stormy. Got some thunder. There's the El Sid fate. I had to do that a few times. What do we need to kill? Vinegar runes. Okay, so there's Annex Shrine. As you can see, there were some wyverns and stuff around here. 'Tis as I feared. The road ahead is teeming with Nath soldiers. Where? Master did not exaggerate then. These beastmen have grown brazen indeed if they would threaten the dragons so openly. Do they intend to assault the lair itself? I pray they do not. Mighty though my Dravanian friends are, they are yet vulnerable to the Nath's muskets. Yes, the Nath have got gunpowder weaponry. There is no route save the one before us. Should the beastmen offer battle, we have no choice but to accept. So we get to go and clear the path. To be honest, there are quite a few ways that we could go, but story. Ooh. Ouch. Yes, they've got these lovely little blaster sticks which remind me a little bit of the weapons from... Was it Stargate? Yeah. That can kind of fire energy bolts at things. Can't really miss this ether current if you're following the main story. cultivator. Yes. We will have more dealings with the Naths shortly. And here we are at Annex Shrine. Dotted around the lands you'll see these summoning stones. These are basically chocobo porters. On closer inspection, this stone appears to be a large horn. Perhaps if you were to blow into one of the holes it would summon a chocobo, though it may be prudent to leave a rental fee just in case. I take no pleasure in killing the Nath. 'Twas to avoid bloodshed that I agreed to join you on this journey. Well, it cannot be helped. We may proceed into the courtyard together, but leave the task of hailing its occupant to me. And keep your lance on your back, Dragoon. On my word to the Warrior of Light, I shall start no fight, only finish it. You truly are beyond salvation. Come then.
Vidofnir!
Hi.
Ah, 'tis thee, little one. From above I did mistake thee for a Nath. 'Tis well I chanced to look again, or thou wouldst now be ash.
Dear Vidofnir, how I have missed you. Would that I had come sooner, and not out of dire necessity.
Thou art troubled. Speak that I might know thy plight. Thou wouldst have father admonish his brood brother.
Father being Valga, brood brother being Nidhogg.
I would end this war without further bloodshed.
How am I to believe thee, little one, when thine own companion beareth Nidhogg's stolen eye?
Have care, dragon, or I shall gouge out one of yours.
How diplomatic.
You forget yourself, sir. We are here on a mission of peace.
My sire's will forbiddeth me from inviting discord to our home. 'Tis for this reason and no other that thou still drawest breath, knight.
Vidofnir, please. We must be allowed to convey our intentions to Hraesvelgar in person, with words of our own choosing. Grant us this favor, and open the way to Som Al.
Thou hast ever been welcome, little one. But I cannot grant thy wish. I am bound to remain here, and protect my kin from the Nath's god.
Ooh, wait, what? God?
The Nath have summoned a primal.
Uh-oh.
Pray excuse my forwardness, but if we were to eliminate the threat to your territory, would you consent to Lady Izel's request?
Ha! Dost thou imagine thyself equal to the task? To succeed where dragons have failed?
Yeah, actually. We've got a bit of experience in the matter.
'Tis beyond thee, mortal. but thou art welcome to try, nonetheless. Only know that idle promises shall avail thee naught.
It would seem we have no choice but to make good on Alphino's offer. Why must our every bid for peace breed yet more war?
Okay, so Izel seems occupied with thoughts of the Nath and their primal. So, the Nath have summoned their god, and this is the mystery of their newfound belligerence laid to rest. So that's the reason why they're being so angsty and up in arms. Are you not glad, Lady Iceheart? I thought you would applaud them for summoning a primal to further their own ends. After all, you did. I did not reach out to St. Shiva to further mine own ends. I decided strength only to forge another peace between man and dragon. But what a fool I am to speak of peace to you, a bloodthirsty savage who murders without thirst or compunction. Enough. Enough, I say. If the Nath have truly brought forth their deity from the ether, we must face it together or watch our hopes fall apart. All now rests upon this primal's defeat. But before we think of confronting it, we must first study its origins. What is the nature of this god? What manner of faith sustains its existence? My apologies. You are right, of course. Let us return to Tailfeather and consult with Martha. He knows more of the Nath and their culture than most. But before we go back, let's attune to this aetheryte, because otherwise we'll have to run all the way here on foot again. I love the lighting in this place. It's actually quite easy to get back from here to there, but it's not so easy the other way, due to how the landscape is tiered. Oh, back already, are we? Huh? Ah, met the Nath, did you? And what is it you'd like to... Summoned a primal, you say? 7 elves, well, I don't know bugger all about Nath religion, if I'm honest. Beyond their trading habits, there never seemed much point in asking. But it shouldn't be that hard to find out. From time to time we barter with the small hive to the north and west of here. Outcasts from the main tribe, from what I understand. I reckon they'd be willing to tell you a bit about themselves if you give them the right incentives. That sounds promising. What exactly would a Nath consider to be the right incentives? Nothing your average hunter couldn't scrounge up in a day or two. But seeing as you're in a hurry, you might want to divide the chores amongst yourself. You want a good-sized jar of land trap nectar, a basket of calam tree fruit, and, always a Nath favourite, a generous portion of young Nanka flesh. I shall gather the fruit. Leaping to the lower branches of these forest giants should present little challenge to me. Then I shall collect the nectar with Master Alphino's arcane assistance. And that leaves you to bring home the meat. You'll need to carve it from the smaller Nankas that live in the rivers. 3 big hunks should be enough, I reckon. Once you've got everything together, you'll need to set it down at what we call the trading post. Here, I'll mark the spot on your map for you. You've been most kind, Master Marshal. Well then, let us attend to our respective tasks and reconvene at the trading post. I need hardly add that the last one there is a rotten Nanka egg. Ha ha ha, ha ha, ha. Alphino, trying to be funny. Alphino, failing miserably. Okay, so we need to go and... Oh, we can't get over that way, can we? That's the other annoying thing about Tailfeather. Can you get through that way? Can't remember. The smouldering wastes. I like that word, smouldering. Right, so it is the little ones that we want to kill. But we will end up having to kill the big ones as well, because that's how we roll. Wow, these hit harder than I remember. Mind you, I suppose we are only now getting the level 52 gears, so... Oh, balls. That is not a good time for the Kraken to disappear. There we go. I might leave Grit on for a little bit. Maybe not. Right. That's 3 of those. Now we need to head over to the trading post. And this is where we will meet our first beast tribe that we can do quests for. Obviously we've met the Vanu Vanu already. I was able to gather a goodly amount of nectar from the land traps, though I would not have known how to harvest it without Azel's help. Do you have the Nanka meat? Splendid. I shall put this with the Stinian's fruit and assemble a suitably generous-looking hamper for the Nath. Well, everything appears to be in order. Assuming no one has any objections to my choice of presentation, I shall place our offerings at the trading post as instructed. Were I of the Nath, I think I would be suitably impressed. That's a bag. Well, how long must we wait? Should we have sounded a signal or some such? Calm yourself, Master Alphino. Our offering has not gone unnoticed. Hi. Long has it been since hunters last came to trade, bearing gifts that fill the air with such delightful scents. Land trap nectar, elm tree fruit, and Nanga flesh. What delectable food you have brought for us. Our meagre existence is much enriched by your bounty. Come, hunters, come to our hive if you would trade. Cramped and stifling our homes are, but the rancid incense keeps the dragons at bay. Cramped, stifling, and horribly smelly. But better left but better to live in stench than be cracked and crunched by dragon jaws, yes? Come, come, it is not far. The Nath are quite peculiar, but I quite like their reasons for being as they are. And here we are, a little home away from home. There's an ether current there, we'll grab that while we think about it. So this is a place that at 60 gets expanded. This entire section here actually gets changed up. And this is the Ffxiv that we've just spoken to. Your presence has been announced to the storyteller. You must speak to our chosen leader in words, for we are Vath. We are the non-mind. In words. Welcome to our hive, hunters. You have brought delicacies much sought after by our people, and we are much pleased. What would you have in return? Honoured Elder, pray allow me to begin by thanking you for welcoming us into your home and for accepting our humble offerings. My companions and I are come in search of knowledge, specifically knowledge of your people's god. Knowledge alone? What strange hunters you are. But if it is words you desire, then words you shall have. We are the Vath, the non-mind, and to speak is our fate. You'll hear the tale of the Nath's god, of the god the one mind summoned into our midst. The One Mind, these are the Nath who reside in the main colony? Yes, they are. Connected. But let us begin the story at its beginning. Some moons ago, a single dragon flew in from the east, bleeding and weak. It fell from the sky and into the hive, where it was swarmed by my brethren. And with spear and spell and musket, the dragon was slain. It was likely one that had fled battle with my kinsman. I should commend you for finishing the job. Dragons are fierce and terrible adversaries. The One Mind would always cower when their winged shadows passed over the ground, but no longer. They had learned that a battle-weary Dravanian was easy prey. Thus did the One Mind decide to heed the words of the Black Robe oh dear. Shock horror. The One Mind would call forth our god and unleash his blades upon the dragons. Dravanian lands would become Nath lands, and ever larger would grow our domain. But our god ever hungers. The price he demands in crystals far exceeds the rewards for this war. We of the Vath despise and revile his insatiable existence. So the Ascians once again trying to get the beast tribes to summon their gods, and there is a reason for it. Right, a ring upgrade. Right, the Ffxiv is examining the weapon source, blah 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 blah. Side quest. It's only the one, isn't it? Yes. Anybody else got any interesting rewards? It's sometimes worth doing them for any gear that they might offer. This else seems troubled. I call upon the power of a primal for the greater good, conscious all the while that I do so at a grave cost to the land. I reason that it is a necessary evil, and willingly shoulder the burden of my sin. In suggesting that such crimes can be justified, you may argue that I presume too much, but you must surely see that I am aware of the magnitude of my transgressions. Not so the Nath. They summon their deity for no greater purpose than to expand their dominion. To a sign of the seventh dawn, one sworn to eliminate the primal threat, the distinction you draw seems questionable at best. But the fact remains that my own grandfather risked unleashing the power of the 12 in an attempt to prevent the calamity. Thus, while I may not condone your actions, I at least understand them. Yes, because Ffxiv did draw upon the land to try and summon, well, the land and using Tupsamati, to summon the 12 and their power, which is basically, we've come to discover what summoning a primal is, using your own belief. Not so the Nath, as you so rightly put it. If they truly seek nothing but a territorial gain, I can only conclude that they are ignorant of the ruinous consequences of their god's insatiable appetite. The longer this primal is suffered to exist, the greater the suffering it will cause. It must be destroyed. How lightly you propose the destruction of this god, Master Alphino, a being of whom we know nothing. Has it occurred to you that you may be sending the Warrior of Light to her death? Yeah, but we do this all the time. No, you have the right of it, Justinian. 'Twould seem it is I who am guilty of presuming too much. Pray forgive me, Demajen. I do not fear my duty. Wait. Demajen need not face this foe alone. Like her, I am blessed with the Echo's protection and may do battle without fear of primal influence. Let me bear this burden. Ha! Do you truly imagine yourself a second Warrior of Light? Remind me, how many primals have you faced, my lady? Not that it matters. We know not where this god resides or how to challenge it, unless you mean to pray until it appears. Justinian makes a valid point. Let us check with the Vath and learn how best to secure an audience with their deity. In this, at least, I may be of assistance. There's that weird bump mapping issue on the ground again. The young lord certainly appears eager to prove his worth. Yes. While he's still dealing with the emotional setback of the Crystal Braves issue. We are Vath, we are the non-mind. We do not hear the one-mind's thoughts. We cannot predict their will. But this idea from your minds, generous hunters. If you meet with our god, then he will have your souls. Surely you are not so generous as that. You wish to meet our god? Offer yourself as a sacrifice, and you will soon be brought before him. We would mourn the loss of such generous hunters, however. So yeah, basically we need to say we'll be sacrifices, and then they will take us with them. You are generous hunters, yes. Many gifts you have brought, but not enough for all Vath to enjoy. Maybe you could bring us just one more. We are very fond of Nanka flesh. Yes, the meat of a young Nanka would make a fine repast. This little greedy shit wants more food. Pretty bird. I do not have any of the birds. I've not done any of the Heavensward extreme primals. Come on then, Xavier. After this, I might actually go and see if I can get a weapon upgrade from the market board. Because again, it will just give us that little bit of extra boost in damage that will make things go smoothly. We Vath do enjoy our Nanka flesh. Have you been out hunting yet? Another gift for the Vath. So unexpected. Yes, you will have more of the words you strange hunters hunger for. Listen now. The senses of the one mind are enmeshed by the overmind. What one sees, all see. What one feels, all feel. Alert a single Nath, and the whole hive is alerted. To reach our guard undetected is all but impossible. The Vath wants to allude to certain concepts without explanation, but I believe I'm beginning to grasp a few of the fundamentals. From what I understand, the king-like overmind sits at the centre of Nath society, and its presence somehow allows its subjects to communicate without need of word or gesture. These Nath, the one who inhabit the larger hive, are known as the One Mind, and it was by their combined will that the Primal was summoned. Those who reside in the smaller hive, however, are the Vath, or the non-mind, who, for reasons that have yet escaped me, seem to have been excluded from the telepathic bond which connects their Nath counterparts. Thus are the Vath ignorant of the One Mind's thoughts and intentions, and of the nature of their own god. In summary, we're wasting our time. Not so. Perilous though it may be, the Vath did furnish us with one certain method of approaching the Primal, as sacrifices. Should we allow ourselves to be captured in the environments of the colony, the Nath will bring us before their deity to make an offering of our souls. Sounds like a great idea. Forgive me, but let us be clear about what it is you propose. You mean to say that you would deliberately provoke the Nath, surrender yourself into what might generously be termed their custody, and then wait until their god arrives to claim your soul? That fairly well describes my plan. You'll join me in this endeavour, will you not, Demajen? Well, yes. Judging by the great risk you took to prevent the summoning of Saint Shiva, you are not a woman to err on the side of caution. True. Would that I could fight at your side, Warrior of Light, but the power of the dragon is no protection against primal influence. Forgive me, but I must remain here with Master Alphino. Then it's settled. Demajen, you and I shall challenge the guards at the entrance of the colony. Once the hive is roused, we shall feign a brief show of resistance and then allow them to take us prisoner. Yeah. What could possibly go wrong? Apart from, everything. Interestingly enough, whilst I haven't... If I'd have done this yesterday, I would have said that I hadn't fought any of the Heavensward primals in ages, but actually I did a trial roulette this morning and managed, quite at random, to get the Nath primal as the primal that I had to kill. So I've actually done it recently, which is very odd indeed. I healed that though, I did it on White Mage. So tanking it is another matter entirely. Right, let us provoke the Nath. Hi. Intruders, your lives are forfeit. Might as well do stolen munitions while we're here. Because we'll just have to do it later otherwise. I seem to recall the actual fight against the Primal is level 53. Oh, we're actually already on 53 quests, never mind. Right. Oops. Totally meant to do that. Honest. Right, where actually is Zell? Oh, she's over there. The Overmind must be now. Let's start that again. The Overmind must by now be aware of our intrusion. Let us press on into the hive and ensure that we have our host's undivided attention. Just before I do that, right. Kill all the things. Ooh, hi. Pow. Right, keep on running. We don't want to drop down there because down there are all level 57 mobs. Where we actually want to go is there. suppose we kill you guys. I keep forgetting that I have tank cooldowns that I can use even though I'm not in tank stance. Oh bollocks. And here was me thinking I'd sneak by. Yeah. Don't you even think about it. Right. Worth noting that Siphon Strike refreshes more MP when you've got Grit on. In fact, it refreshes the exact amount for Dark Arts. So it's worth using if you're trying to output DPS, but not if you're trying to manage your mana. That should be sufficient. If we did not have our host's full attention before, we must surely have it now. Our audience with the primal may be granted soon after our capture. Pray advise me once you've steeled your mind for the battle to come. You're prepared then? Hold there, Demajen. When next the Nath come, we offer no resistance. Surrender, intruders. There is no escape. Enough. We surrender. We throw ourselves upon the mercy of your God. Very wiggly little walk. They seem to be eager to proceed. Good. When they take us before their lord, pray leave matters to me. If what I know of summoning rituals holds true, I shall be well placed to act. Mark the sound of the river rushing through the ravine behind us. Quite loud, is it not? I imagine the noise would serve to mask our escape should we need to withdraw temporarily. But you are prepared, are you not? I do hope so. If I were to be dragged away for sacrifice while you are haggling over the price of potions, I should not be amused. We actually do get the opportunity to go and do stuff before we fight the Primal if we want to. But we've got some cutscene stuff to do first, which is quite cool if I remember correctly. Lots of crystals.
Now we have but to wait.
O Lord Ravana, Master of the Sacred Blades, Wrath of the Colony, Conqueror of the world, hear our prayer. Pray grant unto your devoted children the gift of your divine presence.
He comes.
And he's very cool. Must have been an absolute nightmare to animate this guy with his forearms. Ooh.
All strength to the colony. Speak and I shall listen.
O glorious General, we have captured intruders and would make unto you an offering of their life's blood.
These feeble fleshlings dared to invade Natlands.
Hear me, Lord Ravana. My companion and I did not come to contest your children's territory. We wished only to learn the reason you wage war against the dragons.
'Cause I can.
Thou wouldst flirt with death merely to satisfy thy curiosity. Wherefore should the glorious conquests of the Nath concern thee so, Elezen? Ah, mayhap thine own kind struggle against the worms fareth poorly, and thou art desirous of a pact.
No, not so much.
We crave no alliance, Lord Ravana. Only peace. We would bring an end to our war with the dragons. Yet so long as they remain embroiled in this conflict with your children, our goal shall remain out of reach. Never before have the Nath risen up in such numbers, and never yet with you at their head. Why do you lead them to war?
Thy question hath no meaning. To live is but to fight. Long have my children waited, gathering their strength in the shadow of thy ceaseless conflict. The Nath would see the Dravanians slain, and their territory secured. And by such fervent prayers am I now given form and purpose.
As I feared, your very existence is an obstacle to our goal. Since you are so fond of fighting, we challenge you, Lord of the Nath. And should we emerge the victors, I would have you swear to withdraw your soldiers from Dravanian soil.
Trial by combat.
Thou art bold indeed to risk thy fleshy hide so readily. Very well. I, Ravana, fourfold Master of the Blade, do accept thy challenge. But should I emerge the victor, I would have thee swear to serve in mine army till thy last breath is spent. Do you accept?
Not really. But we don't have a huge amount of choice. Wow.
I do. And I believe the first bout is mine.
So Azel is going to have the first go. She can use the crystals too. Hi.
What is this? A god clad in flesh?
Is aught amiss, my lord? Thou wilt not break thy word, I trust.
She's still tiny.
Mine oath is unbending as steel, little goddess. Thy ruse will but add to mine enjoyment.
Yeah, that's not going to hold. Dope. Dope.
I thought myself stronger. Mayhap with more crystals?
Afraid not.
Be thou god or maid, thou art nothing to me. And what of thee, mortal? Art thou warrior or craven?
Oh, we're warriors.
A warrior, then? Good! Mayhap thou will provide more sport than thy feeble companion.
Gives us a moment for some reason. Right, so we can go and fight Ravana when we want to. Yes, yes you were, Izel. Right. First of all, I'm going to nip back to Foundation. See you all laters. And just take a quick trip to the Jeweled Cruiser. Do, 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 do. Ooh, yes. 44k. Don't mind if I do. Huh? Oh. But of course it's full. What did the level 44 stuff look like? It's quite the... To be honest, for 20k, I will. Not going to buy any more though, because we will get some of it soon. Right, so let us proceed into Thokast Thok. I can just about remember how to do this fight as a tank. Mostly it's face him away from the raid, and if you are the off tank, face him away from the raid. That's pretty much it, actually. I think I've pretty much said this for every dungeon or fight so far, but the music for this is especially good, especially the second phase. We don't need to watch this again. It's exactly the same as it was before. Right, looks like we are off tanking.
Furious as a blaze.
It's a buff that will... we've got a lot of range in this group, so we should be okay. 20% parried. Ooh.
Feel my place.
There's a lot of vulnerability debuffs passed around in this. You want to be standing directly behind all of that.
Bleed. Will thou yield? Take wing, ye souls of war!
At some point, it's going to start summoning butterflies. You want to kill the moon ones first. If they're up. If they're not, kill the spirit ones as fast as possible. The moon ones are these you want to kill them before preferably before they get their cast off. But no, people are too busy pissing about. The more you let through, the more swords get summoned and the more damage his ultimate does. He should. Yeah, this is his ultimate. He will fetter you all, throw you up into the air, and he will then do damage to you based on the number of swords there are around. Oh, no, vulnerability stacks based on the number of swords that are around, and then he will just do damage to you. Anything less than about 3 stacks, I think, is manageable. Right, then the walls will crumble away. You want to make sure you are standing with your back to a wall for this bit. Right. He's now going to start firing stuff at me. So you want to be standing away. You can still DPS with him when he's doing this. For some reason, everybody wants to stand. Yeah, the paladin's taking a load of damage because he's if you get a symbol above your head, you'll notice it's got X number of prongs.
Feel my place.
Ooh.
Perish.
Right, we've survived so far. Now we should swap back damage to the main tank. for some reason our pugilist wants to, sorry, our monk wants to stand in front. So there were a couple of things that people in our group did really weirdly for some reason. But that's the fight in general.
Child of man.
Yeah. We win. You can run away now. Somebody clearly had a whale of a time with the animations for the Nath.
You do not disappoint, warrior of light. Would that I had your skill in battle. I do begin to see why so many place their faith in you. For all his savagery, I do not think Ravana one to break his word. Provided the dragons do not trespass upon Nath lands, they should have little to fear of the Primal's biting blades. We have done well, have we not? Come, let us return to Vidofnir and share these glad tidings.
Yes, let's. Oh, hello.
Once more you achieve the impossible, bringer of light. But with every mortal heart that succumbs to fear and fury, another voice is joined to the chorus, beseeching divine succor.
This is Igayurm, who I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right. This is our first female Ascian, as far as I'm aware.
At their bidding, warring gods will shake the firmament, and your world will be consumed in the swelling storm of chaos.
All the threats. Never since we first fought have I seen you draw upon the full extent of your power, and never from afar till this day. You were a marvel to behold. Well, 'tis time we rejoined our companions. They will be eager to hear the tale and to continue our journey. Yes. So, back we go. Weirdly enough, we are almost done with the Dravanian Forelands. There's a lot of quests still to do. Oh man, it feels really slow. But we are approaching our first story dungeon. The Dusk Vigil is not a story dungeon. It is I think I said this yesterday. Well, it's not optional in the sense that if you want to be able to fly in the area, you have to do it. It is optional in the sense that it is not a story dungeon. Whereas the next one is Some Arl, which is probably my favourite Heavensward dungeon. Well, at least my favourite Heavensward levelling dungeon. If only because the gear in it looks awesome. Buzz off. Don't want none. Right, let's hand this into the Fleetfoot first of all. That will get us one of the ether currents. Hi guys! Demajen, Lady Azelle, thank the 12th. We whooped his ass. Azelle got her ass handed to her. Lord Ravana, you say? How curious that the Vath never mentioned his name. And you are quite certain he will keep his word? There was honour beneath his savagery. That we survived the encounter at all was a miracle I must attribute to Demajen. Never did I doubt you, Warrior of Light, unlike some. You were gone so long that Master Alphino had nigh lost his wits with worry, fretting like a maid for his sweetheart he was. Estinian? Was that truly necessary? Ah, not truly necessary, but certainly true. Ahem! What matters is that the primal is banished and our promise fulfilled. We should return to Vidofnir without delay. Lest you forget, this was but a means to secure an audience with the worm Hrisvalga. Nidhogg's minions will not be halted by idle chatter. Come now, we must make every moment count. You are unkind, Estinian. For all his experience and intellect, Alphino is still but a boy. Sigh. Excellent. Mount speed increased. And oh right, that introduces you to the Nath Beast tribe, which you can do from level 50 onwards actually, but you have to be 52 to 53 to unlock it. Because it doesn't unlock until this stage of the quest line. You'll notice it's got that down arrow there. That is the quest sync icon, which means that the quest itself will be synced down to whatever level you are, including all the mobs, etc., on it. It's quite a cool system, but it means that it will stay relevant whatever level you are and whatever level job that you are levelling. Alphino is keen to inform Vidofnir of Lord Ravana's defeat. Shall we be on our way to Annex Shrine then? I would not have the dragons think that we've forgotten our bargain. I have no intention of walking. Right, there is a quest here somewhere called A Lesson in Humility. It's on one of the upper levels, and that will give us another ether current. As I said, we want to get as many of those as quickly as we can. This place is a nightmare to navigate. Escas. And through here, well, we'll be going there in a bit anyway. Ha! But first, let us speak with Vidofnir. Thou art returned, little one. Hast thou abandoned thine ill-conceived contest with the Nath? Nay, my friend, we return in triumph. By Demajen's hand was the beastman's god, Lord Ravana, laid low. In his overconfidence, the Primal swore to withdraw his followers from your lands in the event of his defeat, a promise we believe he will keep. The Nath shall trouble you no longer. The deity is slain, then. How didst thou contend with his biting blades? But the particulars matter not. Thou hast fulfilled thy promise, and I shall fulfil mine. Attend me, mortals. Hie you into the deepest reaches of morn, and there shall you find Halo, the altar from which you may begin your ascent to the summit of Som Al. But be warned, the minions of Nidhogg shall not lightly suffer your presence on that sacred mount. By your struggles within the cavern shall I judge your party possessed of sufficient fortitude to proceed. We shall not disappoint you, Vidofnir. If memory serves, the Cavern of Morn is entered from the second floor of the central tower. Let us begin the climb. Alright, so this is Morn. It is dark, it is fiery, it is full of basically Tyrannosauruses. And there are also things what we need to kill. Where are the eyes on the vinegar rune? They seem to be made entirely of stone. Should be noted that quite a few of the hunts, you only need to kill 2 or 3 enemies, which is quite nice. There are also these Suricta enemies, which are... Oh, those are the dragony things that I said I don't remember seeing anywhere else in the game. And here we go. I love this area. Fire elementals, magma. There's a Vista here. Seems like we have to pray at this one. Yes. Okay, just before I continue on with this, I'm going to pop to the loo, so I shall be back in a couple of minutes. Oh dear, ever had one of those days when you're washing your hands in the sink and manage to spray water all over yourself? It's one of those days. But I've got cookies, so meh. Right. Well done, little one. As promised, I shall open the way to Somal's summit for thee and thy companions. Heed me now, children of man. The domain you seek to enter hath not seen visitors of your kind in nigh on 1,000 years. Though I freely grant you passage, your presence will not be welcomed. To my kin, this mountain is revered as holy ground and resting place both. Where you, the minions of Nidhogg, join your ascent, but it is certain they shall take great offence at your intrusion. We are grateful for your warnings, gentle Vidofnir. My final words are for thee, Dragoon. Have care to keep the stolen power thou wieldest in check, lest it breed further despair. Estinian, the way is open. Let us not tarry here. A moment. Shall we blindly forge on, knowing the dangers that await us? Tyrman herself is said to guard this peak. I do not fear Nidhogg's consort. Any dragon foolish enough to bar our path shall feel the sting of my lance. Spoken like a true butcher. Need I remind you that we are come to parley of peace? Let us be clear, heretic. 'Twas to save Ishgard and her people that I first lent my support to this doubtful venture. It is for their sake that I go now to speak with Ffxiv. But I said nothing of Tyrman. Should the opportunity present itself to rid my people of one of their deadliest enemies, I shall take it. That is my duty as Azure Dragoon. You are beyond redemption. We will accomplish nothing by bickering. If we are to meet with Ffxiv, our path leads up the mountain. We shall defend ourselves if attacked, but avoid conflict wherever possible. What other choice do we have? Okay. Cookies finished. Delicious. Right, onwards to Som-Al. I was hoping for an instant Q-pop, but apparently not. While we wait, although it doesn't look like we're going to be waiting very long, where was that? Ooh. So the side quests in this area branch, if I remember correctly. So each set of hunters that you speak to has a task or two for you to perform. There we go. Som-Al. Are you prepared for me to tell you how much I like the music in this dungeon? Come on, healer. There we go then. There we go then. Because as it happens, I'm not going to tell you that I really love the music in this dungeon. It's alright. Can I have protect, please? Right, roll. Generally speaking, I spend the first pull or two just double checking the DPS and the healer's ability to heal, and then after that I will contemplate bigger pulls, etc, etc. if you've got an AoE heavy group like this, if you pull the enemies up to the Drake Spur, then you can stop it dropping poison things all over everybody. Since we've got a double red mage setup, there's a good chunk of AoE potential. The dungeon is gated as well behind packs of mobs, so you can't just pull everything and anything. Those pollen clusters that get stuck everywhere. If the red mages were putting slightly more DPS, then I might have pulled that second group as well, but they're not. What level actually are they? Oh, they are all 54. I'm the highest level person here. So we're all actually on level. Ha! I really do wish there was a way that you could separate the battle voices and the voiceovers in cutscenes. It does frustrate me that there is not. Okay, the first boss is Raskovnik. He is basically tank and spank. There's no real... there are actual mechanics to this fight, but I don't think anybody really knows what they are, because he's really, really easy. Avoid standing in stuff. There are some ads that are summoned, but they just float into him and give him a an attack buff, if I remember correctly. Yeah, you don't want to get devoured though. That will cause damage to you. But yeah, you can basically just murder him. There we go. You move into the veins. This area is cool. I'll just make sure everybody's with us. So we are in a big crystally complex. If you've got melee, don't do this. If you've got casters, it's not too bad. Get some heals. Okay, maybe not quite so big pulls then for this healer. Right, so we've gone from a big fireplace with a fiery dragon icy place. So yeah, love the dungeon dressing. Music's okay. It's alright. It's not the most exciting of the dungeon themes, to be fair. More healer stuff. Right, I recommend pulling these back. The dragon up there will launch those icy things down. But if you pull these back here, they take some time to get to you. Or at least they used to. Seems they may have changed that. Either way, giving yourself just a little bit of time to kill that pack is useful. be honest, this is really low DPS for 2 red mages. Okay. So yeah, this guy will summon some big ass jellies. And if you get the red marker over you, you stack up with everybody else, and if you get the blue marker, you run away from everybody. Okay, so we're going to see it in effect now. Okay, so that's a red. So we stack. And that shows the damage out. That's a blue, so you want to run away from everybody. Yeah, you don't need to worry about killing the blobs. They are not important. Right, so he's going to summon. Go. Oh, more healer gear. Jesus. Tank gear. Finally. Right, up we go to Betrayal. Everybody here? Yeah. this is surprisingly slow DPS. In theory, I should be dropping grit and going hog on DPSing myself. This bit's a pain in the arse. I'm going to kill this guy as fast as you can. Simply because they fight over each other and they push each other out of the way. It's kind of hard to position them properly. Still, having ranged DPS does very much help in that situation. Up we go. And here we are at the final boss. This is Demajen. She's not massively happy to see us. I forgot to eat some food. Yeah, I know what you're doing. So, Demajen sends a Chaos Blast. That drops some glowy areas on the ground. They don't actually hurt you when they're glowing, unless you're stood in there when the cast ends. The lingering effect is just that. We also cast Comets. This will put a green marker, just like that one there, over people's heads. Run it next to the door, and then stand there until it disappears. And that will do one of these kind of big AoE things. He's going to die. Yep. If we want to run away, as soon as the impact marker appears under you, you want to run as far away from that as you can. There you go. It's weird because I don't think that's a new mechanic for this dungeon. I'm sure we've seen that before. Oh dear. And that's a wipe. can't remember whether red mages got cure at this level or not. Sorry, the cure. I think they do actually at 54. Once you get this orange marker, you want to be kind of running around a little bit like a maniac. Either way, this is a wipe. This Fayara F is not very good, let's put it that way. I've seen quite a few people wipe on this fight, to be fair. Once again, it is worth taking the view when you can. Massive chunks of sky stone. Right. Theoretically, absolutely nobody should be getting hit by Chaos Blast. You know exactly where it's going to hit because it's targeted on everybody. Right, wings. Do, 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 do. Right. So now Tierman will start dropping 3 meteors on people. At least I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Yes, I forgot about Darkstar. Darkstar is an AoE. Room wide. We win. Down she goes. A pair of destroyers has been added to the loot list. Cast your lot. Destroyers are a monk item. Ooh. Got some new earrings and some new trousers. That's not bad going. And then we come out onto the other side. I think we get a cutscene here, don't we? Yeah. Oh, we get wind. Earth crystal back. I suppose because it's a mountain, maybe. Meh. Demajen. I'm fine. It would seem Tierman was the last. I sense no other dragons nearby. What's happening? Nidhogg roars. He knows we're here then. His fury bleeds through the eye. He's pissed, because we've just killed his wife. Fear not, I am yet my own master. But that damned worm's wrath burns hotter than flame. Come, the heart of the dragon's homeland yet lies before us. Thus do we add another link to the chain of vengeance. Oh, Saint Shiva, when will it end? Okay, so this takes us up to the Churning Mists.
To the peak of Som Ao, at the end of a perilous mountain path, whence could be seen a string of pearl-like islands floating impossibly atop a sea of clouds. to a domain where dragons and men had once lived in harmony, whose majesty no mortal eye had glimpsed for nigh on 1,000 years. They came.
And this is our first look at the Churning Mist, which is a beautiful zone. There's some amazing architecture there in the background. It is therefore a pity that it is, I think, probably the most hated zone in the expansion. Not for the the Umbral static effects on. Let's just take a moment to appreciate Umbral static, shall we? That's Nidhogg's Eyrie over there, surrounded in rage. Which, yeah, that's a really cool special effect. I was saying, yeah, people hate this zone because, unfortunately, this is where the Moogle quests are. And the Moogle quests, I know they were going to change them, but I'd already done them by the time they'd changed them. They are, or were, rather infuriating. There's some nice fates in this area, mind you. This particular section is quite heavily instanced in the sense that a lot of the NPCs won't show up until various parts in the story quest. We have reached it at last, the peak of Som-Al. 'Tis said to be the highest mountain in all of Eorzea, you know. I thought it cold and Kurthus, but the air here carries the chill of a dozen winters. That gives us the ether current for down in Dravania, the Dravanian Highlands. Lowlands. Arfino ponders the means by which you might find Heavensward. Yes, he does. But we are not, because we need to go back down. I did a tune to that, didn't I? Yes. We need to go back down to finish off flying in the Forelands. Not the Lowlands, the Dravanian Forelands. Ugh. This player guide is new for 4.0, but it's kind of handy. Also, it should be noted that we're almost level 56. Ooh, there's an ether current there. Can't jump high enough. Right. Don't understand. Men is not fit to battle with dragons. Nevertheless, I will do as father asks. So these three little fellas have got the same kind of imperious, high almighty attitude that Estinian kind of has. go. Should be noted that Annex Shrine is a lot easier to navigate once you've actually got flying, because you can go through that hole in the ceiling there to get up to the high levels much quicker than having to mess about with this ramp. Yes, the younglings grow too prideful. And that continues on with some more quests. There's Vidofnir. Right, that's the Nath stuff. So, let's go over to Tailfeather and shake our Tailfeather. Ether currents. So, we've got one more and 2 quests. 330 yards to the east. Well, going east as it happens. So that's handy. Oh, it's there. Right, so that's the last one that we need to find. Yeah, no, undetected. Yeah, I didn't deliberately wait to do that quest so that we could visit them both at the same time. That's just a stroke of luck. How do we get up here again? I can't even remember. Ah, found here. Yes, up this slope. Making sure not to fall down there. As I seem to recall, I did the first time. Right. Back we go to camp. Because this is how lazy I have become. That's one. That's the other. As I say, plenty of side quests that we can do. But that's not what we're going to do. What you're going to do is just uncover the last little bit of this map to get that tiny percentage for level 56. Oh, can't. You don't need down there. Oops. Mind you, we can fly over Lothast Nath. Actually, I think this will be the second level in a row, won't it, where we've levelled from exploration. There's a big fate that spawns here in that crater. He is a bit of a pain in the arse. This is the White Lady, is this called? Actually, no, I think the fate that spawns here is the White Lady. Right, over here there is a gate to the Dravanian hinterlands. We can't get through it yet. It's locked off behind main story, which is a bit of a shame. But that's the way it goes. What is my level 56 ability? Abyssal Drain, right. Then it is definitely worth going to go and do some Dark Knight quests. As you can see, Alex trying from the outside is really rather cool. And there are actually some dragons on some of these platforms. That down there is the Bridge to Morn. This is above it. Woo, 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 woo. You can actually, I think, get up here normally, but there's a whole host of paths and stuff that you can take across the mountain there, and that is the summit. And the various chunks of island. I seem to recall that bit to discover is actually inside. I don't think flying over to it will unlock it. Let's check. Because you can only fly so high. Oh no, we do. There's this really cool amphitheatre down here. I have to wonder whether it's related to the Akafar amphitheatre. Is that a hunt mob? Yes, yes it is. There's also some dragons over here. This little area is slightly higher level. You can see there are mobs at level 57. This is the Iron Feast. Quite why there are a load of thunder dragons surrounded by water. Doesn't seem very smart. But yeah, this area is quite cool. Can't get any further that way, unfortunately, but not entirely sure where that water's coming from. But yes, nice little area. There's a fate that spawns up here to kill a load of dragons. Seem to go over here. Underneath, actually, where we are, is a cavern. Can't remember what you have to go down here for. But yeah, there's this mysterious gate, and as far as I'm aware, you never go through it. I wonder if it was something that they thought they might use at some point and didn't, or maybe it's used in a quest for a job or a class that I didn't unlock. I don't know. This should be the last chunk, I think. I think we still got a big chunk of XP for unlocking all the areas on the map. Yes. Oh yeah, we do. 259,000. Oh, I like this bit of the music. And again, you kind of get the feeling that they were going to do a little bit more with this. And as I say, maybe they did and I just missed it because I wasn't paying attention. But yes, you can go a long way up. And as you may probably have suspected, it should be noted that this bit here really makes me dizzy. You can actually jump off here, and it will make your stomach sink. But yeah, apart from the slightly iffy texture work, it is nevertheless a really quite awesome view. Kraken certainly thinks so. Yeah, anyway, there we go. So that's going to do us for this episode. I'm going to go and do some Dark Knighty stuff, and then we'll come back at some point later or tomorrow. Not entirely sure yet, don't know what the schedule is for tonight. And we should continue through the churning mists. I'm quite intrigued and quite eager to see what changes they actually made to the Moogle questline, because it was a pain in the butt originally. So for now, toodle pip.